It all started on a Saturday a couple of months ago. I was in my recliner, making the most of my day off with a nice afternoon nap. The shitty Netflix movie I had put on quickly lulled me into a light slumber, and I was dozing peacefully when I was startled by the ring of the doorbell. I sat up and glanced at my phone, then wondered who in the world it could be. I wasn't expecting any visitors, and my daughter Abby was upstairs playing in her room. I didn't really live in the sticks, but I also didn't not live in the sticks. Getting visitors wasn't unheard of, but it definitely wasn't the norm. Rising out of the recliner, the doorbell rang again as I gave my arms a good long stretch. "Be right there," I shouted before heading to the front door. I opened the front door to find a young man staring back at me with a big cheesy grin. He was probably just over 20, skinny and gangly in appearance, with a face full of freckles to match his short red hair. I could see his crisp white button-up was tinged with pit stains from the heat of the day as he outstretched his hand. "Hi there, sir. Hope your day is going well. My name's Joel. Nice to meet you." "Derek," I replied, returning the handshake. The kid's hand was moist and I immediately regretted the pleasantry. "What can I do for you, Joel?" I asked. "Nothing at all, sir," the young man replied cheerfully. "I just wanted to invite you to Sunday service at the Church of Latter-day Saints. Didn't he realize we had a Mormon church out here?" I said with genuine surprise. I had lived in the town for pretty much my whole life and had never seen one or gotten a visit like this before. "Sure do," Joel responded chipperly, reaching into the satchel at his side and handing me a flyer. "Our address is right there on the back. We'd love to have you and your family join us." "Appreciate it, Joel. We'll give it some thought," I replied, trying to be polite. Can't say religion was really my thing, but I had grown up going to church on occasion with my grandma. I'm sure this kid's heart was in the right place, plus he walked all the way down my gravel road in the heat. "You do that, sir. Have a nice day." And with that he was off. I couldn't help but laugh to myself as he jogged away with his satchel bouncing at his side. Sure was a peppy fella, I had to give him that. I watched him down the drive for a moment and then returned to my nap. 2 weeks later, Joel was back. This time I was out mowing the lawn when I saw the energetic young man crest the hill of my driveway. I did a couple more passes on the mower as he made his way down, then pulled alongside him as he approached the house. "Good to see you again, Derek," he yelled as I powered down the mower. His voice was still chipper, but he looked a little flustered. "What is up?" I asked. "Everything all right?" "Well, I'm just glad to see that you're okay," he admitted. "We haven't seen you in church on Sunday yet, so I was worried something might have happened. I hope you'll be able to join us soon." "Sorry, the weekends are just a busy time, man," I replied, a bit weirded out. "Wow," Joel replied, that dumb smile back on his face. "You must be really busy to not have time for God." I gotta admit the statement kind of caught me off guard. Joel was quickly falling out of my good graces. "Yeah, I'm going to get back to mowing. Have a nice day, kid," I said dryly. Joel nodded and started to reply, but I drowned him out with the mower. I went about my yard work, but kept watch out of the corner of my eye to make sure Joel fucked off. He stood around my yard for another moment or so, then gave me a wave and started prancing back up the road. A few days went by and I forgot about Joel again. I had just taken a piping hot tray of chicken parmesan out of the oven and went to call Abby inside for dinner. I had opened the front door and was just about to yell her name when I heard voices coming from the side of the yard. I walked around to find Joel chatting away at Abby as she swung on her playset. "Wow, look how high you're going." He cheered as she kicked her legs. "Evening, Joel," I said in a deadpan tone as I approached. Abby jumped from her swing at my arrival and ran over and hugged my leg. "Hi, Daddy," she squealed. Mr. Joel was watching how high I could swing. "That's nice, sweetie, but what has Daddy told you about talking to strangers?" I said calmly, ruffling her hair. Abby looked at me confused. "But Mr. Joel said he is your friend." "Something like that," I replied. "Why don't you go inside, sweetie? Dinner's ready. I made us chicken parmesan." "Yum," she yelled excitedly before heading towards the house. Once Abby was out of earshot, I turned back to face Joel. "Really great daughter you got there, Derek. We've got a great kid pro." "Shut the fuck up, Joel," I interrupted. "Do you really think that is okay? You're a grown-ass man. You can't just walk into someone else's yard unannounced and start talking to a 7-year-old. "I'm sorry, Derek. You just didn't seem convinced at my last visit, so I thought." "I'm not going to be convinced, Joel. Are you new at this? I went to church as a kid. I know how this works. You show up, you give me your sales pitch, then you leave me the fuck alone. I'm sure that your heart is in the right place, but this is too much. You need to go home, and if you come back here again, I'm going to have to call the police." Joel gave me a look like a kicked puppy dog inside. "Okay, Derek, I get it." As he turned to leave, I heard him mumble under his breath, "It's a shame about Abby. What was that?" I asked, putting my hand on his shoulder. Joel turned back to me, that stupid fucking grin on his face, the biggest it had ever been. I said it's a shame that little cunt is going to have to burn. Before he could blink, I had balled my hand into a fist and rocketed it right into the side of his pale freckled nose. Joel's head snapped back with the blow and he teetered on his feet. I'm not a prime specimen, but I've done a lot of manual labor in my time, and I was much bigger than the scrawny young missionary. "Get the fuck off my property," I said before giving him a shove. The rocked boy tripped over himself and fell, not safely to the ground, but right into the edge of Abby's playset. A cold chill ran down my spine at the resounding crack that emanated from Joel's neck as it hit the rough edge of the 2x4 support. Shit, I thought. Shit. Joel lay on the ground, head resting at an angle that was anything but natural. I ran my fingers through my hair, pacing around his body. The little fucker deserved every bit of that punch, but not this. I just wanted him to leave. This was it. Life was over. I was going to go to jail for God knows how long, and if I ever got out, Abby's mom would surely never let me see her again. Unless every time Joel visited, he walked here alone. For all I knew, no one knew where he was. It was stupid, but I was desperate. I dragged the body around the back of the house out of sight and went inside to have dinner with my daughter. Later that night, when Abby was tucked away in bed, I went back out and moved the body to the basement. It was almost midnight and I still sat wide awake. My hands were shaking and my heart raced. I had barely kept myself together through dinner. Once Abby was taken care of for the night, I gave myself over to the panic that had been stewing in my gut and let it wash over me. The reality sank in and ate away at me. I had killed a man. From behind I heard a scratching sound. The slow, methodic slide of a nail running down the wood. It was coming from my basement door. Soon it was joined by a whisper. Derek. My mind had to be playing tricks on me. Derek. The guilt was driving me to insanity. Derek, I flung the door open. Joel stood at the top of the stairs, no worse for wear, no broken nose, no crooked neck. Crisp shirt tucked in tightly. He smiled his sea.